Over here at Import Gaming for the win, it's a given that I love Japanese games, but another gaming passion of mine is discovering and collecting the video game demos of yesteryear, and that's why I'm starting up a new series where I sample these old samplers, calling it Demoing Demos. And what better topic for the pilot to a video series about demos than the pilot disc to Sony's most prolific demo line on the PS1 in Japan, PlayStation. Before we take a look at the insides of this demo, however, here's some background and history on PlayPlay. A total of 19 volumes were published starting from the November of 1995 to August of 1999, which was followed by 7 volumes of a successor series called PlayPlay Plus that ran from October 1999 to December 2000. These were all for the original PlayStation, but the PlayPlay name would carry on through the PS2 era as well. For roughly $60 in yearly dues, members of Sony's official PlayStation Club would receive 1 volume in the mail every 2 or 3 months, which was the key benefit of membership. However, booklets and other printed materials, as well as access to public gaming exhibitions such as PlayStation Expo, were among some of the other perks the club provided. PlayPlay PlayStation could be considered the Japanese equivalent to the PlayStation Underground brand that was popular in North America, as they both contained more than just playable demos and trailers. The first 19 volumes were a joint production by Sony and a company called GTV, and as mentioned earlier, the one we're looking at in this video was the pilot demo, Volume 0 if you will. It was published in the August of '95, a couple of months before the release of Volume 1, sent out to those who applied to receive it through advertisements found in magazines and perhaps even game retailers. The main purpose of this particular demo was to inform Japanese PS1 owners about the upcoming PlayPlay demo service and to entice them to join the PlayStation Club. Like many other PlayPlay entries, this volume includes 2 CD-ROMs, one being an 8cm mini disc, but we'll take a look at the regular size disc first. While the official name of this 2-disc sampler is PlayPlay PlayStation Soukan Junbigo, meaning something like the Preparation Edition, this first disc is entitled Demo PlayStation Special. Hey, I like that logo design. Demo was the name of a series of discs that were playable exclusively at PlayStation kiosks placed in video game and electronic stores, also Sony and GTV productions. But we'll probably take a look at those in future episodes of Demoing Demos. I guess you could look at this disc as kind of a bridge between Demo and PlayPlay, as it shares the same visual and audible style of the former. Captain Rock from the popular PS1 racing game Toon Grand Prix plays the role of host here, as he also does in the Demo retail counterpart. He'll help the player navigate the demo and explain pretty much any screen and selectable option through text and voice with the press of the triangle button. There are 4 portals to explore on the main menu, the first of which is Demo PlayStation, home to 7 playable titles. Fittingly, the first of these is Toon Grand Prix from Sony Computer Entertainment, where you can compete as Rock in one of 3 courses in time trial mode. This colorful, zany racer features great characters and cars designed by pop artist Susumu Matsushita, and was developed by the team that would go on to create Sony's flagship racing series, Gran Turismo. Toon Grand Prix was also a Japanese exclusive, as the game that was released under the same name in the West was actually a modified version of the sequel. The next demo here is another Sony-published Japan exclusive, Victory Zone, Real Pachinko Simulator, and well, the name kind of explains it all. It provides 4 machines to gamble on and try to find that sweet spot to win all the balls. You can zoom in and out and pan all around, and even switch the camera to follow a single steel ball on its journey. As far as a PS1 Pachinko game goes, this looks and feels pretty great, with believable physics, attractive lights and noises, and one machine that features a sexy anime babe, so it's not all bad. But at the end of the day, it's a pretty standard Pachinko game and will probably only appeal to the most niche of niche audiences. The third demo is Konami's excellent horizontal scrolling shooter, Gokujo Parodius Deluxe Pack, a collection of 2 arcade ports which was a PS1 launch title in Japan, though it also saw a localization in PAL regions as well as a Sega Saturn release. This trial edition gives 1 or 2 players the opportunity to blast through an entire level with any character they like, but for me it's hard not to choose the bunny girl. It's a poppy game and a fine experience for fans of shooting games, particularly the Gradius style ones at Parodius. Next up is Aquanauts Holiday from Art Inc., an underwater exploration simulator that was surprisingly published in North America and Europe. This demo version lets the player navigate the deep sea, discover underwater formations and structures, admire and attempt to communicate with various aquatic life forms, and, well, that's about it, much like the full game. Zero Divide from Zoom is another game that saw widespread international release and is a robot-themed brawler that was pretty well received during its time, though it hasn't aged all that gracefully. You can smash metal on metal against a friend or the computer with 2 selectable combatants. This demo contains yet another title that got released in territories outside of Japan, and it's a good one. Raiden Project from Seibu Kaihatsu. Like Parodius, this is the fantastic arcade port that provides thrills and enjoyment for fans of 2D shooters. Players can sample one stage here in normal mode or take advantage of the game's vertical scrolling in arcade mode, so long as they can tilt their widescreen TVs to the side, or lie down while playing. The last of the playable demos is another shooter, but it's not like the other two. It's Namco's classic 3D flight combat sim, Ace Combat. This game is so well known that I really don't have to say anything about it. Here you get to fly around in your fighter jet in either novice or expert control modes, take down any hostiles with guns or missiles, and have fun doing so.
Enemy in sight. Enemy locked on target. Bingo! Yahoo!
The movie PlayStation section features promotional videos for 5 games, trailers for cult CGI adventure hit Kowloon's Gate, multi-perspective scroll shooter Philosoma, corridor shooter Kilik the Blood, and the infamous Camelot-developed role-playing game Beyond the Beyond, as well as the animated intro from Wild Arms developer MediaVision's RPG FPS hybrid and PS1 launch title, Crime Crackers. All of these games were published by Sony and are short but sweet watches. Arguably, the most interesting content in the disc is found in the section labeled Original PlayStation. There are 4 features here, 3 that can be best described as tech demos showing off the power of the PlayStation, one featuring a Tyrannosaurus that might be the most graphically impressive thing I've ever seen on the system. The others portray a manta ray peacefully swimming in the ocean with some fish, and a collection of macho men shuffling on the dance floor. These all include some level of interactivity, allowing the player to control the camera and change animations. The last piece of content in this part of Demo Special is an original game called Controller Kuns Journey, where the hero is a PS1 controller as the title alludes to. At first glance, it's just a bare-bones 3D shooter that provides a short but nice diversion, but it's actually something quite special. This unfinished game marks the start of an ongoing project that relied on input from the PlayStation player base to guide its development. When you're done playing, an address is shown where you can send in your ideas for the game, with presents promised to those whose ideas are used in the next iteration. It's a fun and neat concept. Maybe we'll see how it went in future demoing demo episodes. The last portal on this disc is News PlayStation, containing 3 sub-portals. One is a simple video called Ridge Racer's Super Technique, demonstrating a flawless lap in one of Ridge Racer's courses performed by a player going by the handle Gum-O. The next feature is a collection of 10 early Japanese PlayStation commercials that are certainly, well, they're certainly something. Let's take a look at a few of them.
PlayStation 待て123
123でゲームが変わる123
12月3日プレイステーション待て。
高代さん、おナス取ってくださる。高代さん。ナス高代さん。
落ちちゃった。
みんな始めてる。行くぜ100万台。
プレイステーション。
このマヤさんって名字がないのね。
正確に聞いてくれれば。
聞いたのよ、もう全部。
終わった。
みんな始めてる。行くぜ100万台。
プレイステーション。
The last part of the news portal was a short and humorous digital comic starring Rock and one of the Moo Moo aliens from Jumping Flash, promoting the upcoming PlayStation demo service and PlayStation Club. I've taken the time to translate it, so enjoy.
ついにプレイステーションを手に入れたムー。でもソフトがたくさんあってどれから遊ぼうか迷うムー。
わからないことがあったら三角ボタンで僕を呼び出してね。
誰だムー。
そんなお悩みならこのロックにお任せ。
なんだお前はムー。
このデモプレイステーションは毎月お店で発売間近のソフトが実際にプレイできるし、最新情報もいっぱい。その上オリジナルのゲームも入ってるんだ。
なんだかすごいムー。あっ、うちの近所ではそんなのやってないムー。
まあまあ、そう落ち込まないで。諦めるのはまだ早いよ。
ほんとかムー。
本当さ。
何やらすんだムー。手を離せムー。
お店の人にデモしたいんですけどって言ってみなよ。そしたらやらせてくれるはずだから。
わかったムー。行ってみるムー。すごいムー。どれもこれも面白いムー。プレイステーション大好きだムー。
はいはい、モータートゥーングランプリのロックだよ。やあ、お久しぶり。
ムー。
よっこいしょ。だったらもうプレイステーションクラブに入るっきゃないぜベイビー。
プレイステーションクラブ？
そんなことも知らないの？
そんなことも知らないむー。
まあまあ、教えてあげるからさ。プレイステーションクラブに入会すると CD ロムマガジンのプレイステーションプレビューをメインに、どこよりも早いプレイステーションソフトの情報が君の自宅に届いちゃうんだ。
そんなことちっとも知らなかったむー。もっと早くに知っていたら入会してたむー。
今からでも遅くはない。クラブに入会してプレプレをもらっちゃおう。入会方法は同封のご案内を見てね。
でもプレプレで君もプレイステーションマニアだむー。
The smaller second disc in this package has less content, obviously, but has some neat stuff packed into it regardless. Funny enough, PlayStation Zero is technically this mini CD, as it is labeled such on the title screen, and it seems the original plan was to release all PlayPlay volumes on 8cm discs. The content area is set up like the stage select screen from Jumping Flash, and a Moo Moo alien plays host much like Rock did in the Demo special disc. There are 3 portals here, the main one being the Demo Playroom. This disc contains only one playable demo, and it's something a little bit different for Japanese players. The international version of Jumping Flash. It features Stage 1-1 and the Stage 1 boss fight using English text and voices. and while the host Mumu says the maps are remade, the only difference I noticed was the placement of an item or two. The Play Pray Times, a clever pun on Play using preview, pronounced preview in Japanese, has trailers for Namco's immensely popular fighter Tekken 2, the second chapter in Sony's tactical RPG series Arc the Lad, Konami's legendary dating sim Tokimeki Memorial Forever With You, and the FMV adventure game Tokyo Insect Zoo from General Entertainment. The last area on the disc is the memory bank, which has save files for the Namco arcade racing game
Ridge Racer!
and Art Dink's Railroad Management and Urban Development Simulation A4 Evolution, both PS1 launch titles. Players can unlock the extremely high-spec Devil Car for the former, and for the latter, data from 3 of the winners in an A4 competition held in Sony's official publication, Hyper PlayStation. Well, that's a look at the inaugural entry in the PlayStation line of demos in the inaugural episode of a video series all about demos. This edition, in addition to volumes 1 through 19, has a lot of personality in its design and presentation, and is representative of a unique era in the PlayStation brand. While Volume 0 is a little harder to find than the others, it's still extremely cheap, just like most demos you'll come across for the PS1. If you're interested in collecting trial versions of games, the PlayStation, or game history and obscurities, this is one set of discs I recommend tracking down and obtaining. Anyway, in the future I plan on talking more about Play, Demo, and any of the many samplers out there in all their forms. I hope you enjoyed Demoing Demos number 1, and maybe I'll see you around by the time the next episode is out. This is Jimmy Hapa from Import Gaming for the win. Take care.
Ridge Racer!